So what happens when a patient's own medical mystery becomes the key to a potential breakthrough? We're about to dive into this incredible story that sits right at the intersection of healthcare and artificial intelligence. And you know, it's all driven by one person's mission to make sure no one else has to suffer the same way he did.
Just listen to that quote. It really captures a devastating reality, doesn't it? Imagine, for years, being treated for the wrong thing. Thinking one thing is wrong with you, only to discover the root cause wasn't a mental health condition at all, but a neurological disease, multiple sclerosis, literally hidden inside your brain.
And then there's this question. This is the moment everything pivots. It's where a deep, personal struggle sparks a technological quest for answers, not just for one patient, but, potentially for thousands of others.
Okay, so to really understand the solution that's being proposed here, we first have to get a handle on just how big the problem is. We're talking about a hidden disease that is notoriously difficult to diagnose early on.
1/3. Let that sink in for a second. According to studies, a full third of multiple sclerosis patients go through huge delays in getting the right diagnosis. This isn't some rare one-off thing. It's a massive challenge in modern medicine.
So you might be asking, why the delay? Well, it all comes down to this: a diagnostic dilemma. The early symptoms, they often look like this: a little cognitive fog, maybe some mood changes, anxiety, and of course, that leads doctors down a psychiatric path. But what's really going on underneath could be something else entirely: multiple sclerosis. The disease is a master of disguise.
And here's the really crucial point. This is about so much more than just getting the label right. A delayed diagnosis has a profound human cost. We're talking about lost time, where this progressive illness just keeps advancing, unnecessary treatments for the wrong condition, and, tragically, preventable disability. Every single day counts.
So, who is the person in the perfect position to solve this? This is where the story gets really interesting, because it's not just about a patient, it's about how that patient became a pioneer.
I mean, seriously, it is hard to imagine a more perfect combination of skills for this exact task. He's not just an MS patient who lived through this whole ordeal. He's also a former health tech CTO, a super successful grant writer, an AI specialist from Georgia Tech, and a former biomedical informatics researcher. It's incredible.
This quote, this really gets to the heart of it all. This isn't about looking back with regret. It's about taking a really difficult personal experience and forging it into a tool that can protect other people. That's what makes this so much more than a tech project. It's a truly human mission.
All right, so what's the actual plan? How does this work? Let's get into the mechanics of the solution. The idea is to train a sophisticated AI detective, one that can see what the human eye might miss on a really complex brain scan.
And the approach is just incredibly smart and methodical. First, you gather the data, starting with his own MRI scans. Then, you develop the AI model using proven tools that already exist. Next, and this is key, you validate the AI's findings against what actually happened in the real world. And finally, you use those results to get funding for a much larger study. It's a clear 4-step, achievable roadmap.
Now, a really important part of the strategy is that he's not building this from scratch. The project cleverly combines two powerful existing AI frameworks. One is the MindGlide platform, which is designed to sift through mental health data for hidden neurological clues. And the other, from University College London, uses advanced models specifically trained to spot those tiny, subtle MS lesions a human radiologist might miss. It's like having two world-class specialists working together.
Now, for anyone who gets a little nervous about AI in medicine, this is a really crucial point. It's a retrospective study. All that means is it's looking backward at old data. The AI is just analyzing past MRI scans to see if it could have found the disease earlier. This means there is zero risk to any patients. It's a completely safe, ethical way to prove the concept works.
Okay, this next part, this is where the proposal becomes almost impossible for a hospital to ignore. We are talking about the potential for profound, game-changing innovation without the huge price tag you'd expect.
So what does he actually need from the hospital? Well, it's more remarkable for what's not on the list. He needs a champion, an executive sponsor. He needs access to his own medical data and a little bit of oversight. But look at what he doesn't need. No new funding, no new hardware, no new hires, nothing.
Let's just let that sink in. The total project cost to the institution is $0. $0. In a world where medical R&D can run into the millions, This is a truly unique, high-reward opportunity, built entirely on one person's volunteer expertise and incredible drive. So if the cost is zero, what's the potential upside? This is where we get to look beyond just this initial pilot to what it could unlock, a whole new era of patient-driven, AI-powered medicine.
See, this zero-cost pilot is designed to be the key that unlocks major external funding. A successful proof of concept makes a super powerful case for federal grants. An R21 grant could bring in about $275,000. And a larger R01 grant, we're talking over $2 million in research money for the hospital.
And beyond the money, there's this powerful reputational benefit. The story this tells is of a forward-thinking hospital that embraces ethical AI, that actually listens to its patients and empowers them to become partners in innovation. That's a narrative that money just can't buy.
And that brings us to our final and I think really provocative thought. We always look to these huge labs and giant research institutions for the next big breakthrough, right? But this story forces us to ask a new, pretty inspiring question. What if the person with the deepest insight, the right skills, and the most powerful motivation to solve a disease is the patient themselves?